We're live, brothers and sisters. Peace and blessing. I know I'm happy to be here. Hope that you are too. And we'll continue where we left off, talking about black nationalism and the Black Nationalist political party. Because, brothers and sisters, we should be looking at black nationalism and black political parties. So this is our direction. This is where we should be going. We look like fools calling ourselves Democrats and Republicans when we could be black nationalists. I think that's where we left off. Dr. Ava Muhammad, one of our ardent supporters, was an ardent supporter of our philosophy, an ardent supporter of our direction as nation people, as builders in God's army. Isn't that right? God's army, not ours. You could be a Muslim and be in God's army. You could be a Christian and be in God's army. And you could be Zoroastrian and be in God's army. Or you could be a Jehovah's Witness, black Jehovah's Witness, and be in God's army. Because what qualifies you to be in God's army is that you're black and you're righteous. Isn't that right? You could be a Hebrew Israelite and be in God's army. God has many sons, many daughters, right? So our mindset, our way of thinking has to be changed. And we have to come together because we're black. It's time for us to come together. Brothers and sisters, there's no better time than now for you and I to come together. There's no better time than now. And my desire, my prayer is that we would come together and will come together to be able to fulfill the duties that God will have us to do in his kingdom to come. And his kingdom come. This when you pray, right? When Jesus, Yahashua Leah Asa, which is his real name, but for the sake of argument, Jesus, when Jesus said pray, he said, when you pray, you say, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Listen, brothers and sisters, listen. Thy will be done. Whose will? Not his will, right? Not the devil's will, but thine, our, right? Thine will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Our will be done on this earth as it is in heaven, right? As it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Who trespass against us? The enemy, the devil. Who is your enemy? The white man. Your enemy. Racism is the enemy's tool on this planet. Isn't that right? Right? And I speak intelligence. You know, it's hypocritical for any white man to really chasing me on what I'm saying when white people are blowing black people's head off. Literally blowing our heads off, cutting our heads off, cutting us up and putting us, burying us and burning us and all of that. It's plain hypocrisy for anyone white to say they don't understand what I'm talking about. I know you don't physically understand, but you'll have to accept what I'm talking about when it comes to this devil that we're dealing with, right? A man told me, he said, just because we're white, and I want to tell you, he said he was an agent. I don't know what kind of agent he was, right? But I believe because they stopped me, trapped me, arrested me for no reason, didn't read me my rights. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. And so, excuse me. And so I just want to tell you that this man, or these two men and one black woman, didn't read me my rights, detained me, and asked me why my speeches were so incendiary. Imagine that. Just imagine that. I want you to just think about it with me. I can't imagine why. I mean, when I contemplate it all, I just can't imagine why two white men would ask me and one sister. I understand what a sister was because she was a slave to the FBI. She had an FBI uniform shirt on. So that's the FBI. That's the Federal Bureau of Investigation Plantation. So I get it. I get it. But what I didn't understand, you have to excuse me, I'm having allergies. What I didn't understand is why this white man, both of them, would ask me why my speeches were incendiary. And I said, what do you mean by incendiary? I said, well, we understand that you know what the word means. I said, well, just in case I don't. Just in case I don't understand what it means, why don't you tell me? So they said when it was marks that would incite, right? Incendi. Marks that would incite, right? The Greek word for it, the slave, our slave forefathers, interpretation of it means to start a fire, right? Riot, right? And I said, that's amazing. Because it was amazing to me how white people can walk up in not only adults' face, but children's face and blow their brains completely out through their ears or behind their head. I mean, blow their brains completely out. And these two white men would ask me, why do my speeches seem incendiary? I mean, should I smile? Should I be thankful that they're killing black people? I just want to know. Because I just want to know. Is this something? Thank you, brother. Is this something that I should be thankful for? That they're killing black people? I should rejoice. I shouldn't say anything about it. I just want to know. I let them know because they detained me. No reason. The only thing I was working on was this investigation of Sister Ava Muhammad assassination, because that's what it was. That's what it was. I'm investigating it. And they asked me a question like that. I was in Texas when they shot this eight-year-old boy. Shot him. This guy named was Brian Clunger. Shot an eight-year-old boy in the face. Shot him in the face, literally. And to this day, his face is disfigured. And they asked me these questions. I mean, not only is there Emmett Till, but there has to be now up to about 15 to 17,000 deaths that the white man has done over the course of years. Over the course of, what would that be? Over the course of 70 to 80 years. Nearly 90 years now. And I don't get it. It's almost 100 years since the death of Emmett Till, believe it or not. Almost 100. But I just don't get it. I mean, brothers and sisters, don't you understand that when you're in that political party, don't you understand, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, that you are the only thing that you're helping to increase is the population. That's about it. And not to mention affirmative action, because you're doing affirmative action too. But I don't understand. I just don't understand how you could be a part of a political party that used to lynch your brothers and your sisters, whether it be Republican or Democrat, they all did it together. And you identify yourself with this party when it's the same parties that are fighting against voting rights. I mean, amazing, amazing. So you fighting hard to get back on the plantation, brothers and sisters. Fighting hard. I mean, fighting tooth and nail to get back on the plantation and within the plantation system to a people who couldn't give two rat tails about you when you're alive and know even less about you when you're dead. Because they're not interested in learning about you. They're not interested in seeing black folk become free. They're not interested in that. And I don't care where you are. It could be at the highest level to the lowest pole, totem pole. White people could care less. Whether you're present or not present, that's something they have to do. The only thing they want you to do is fill the bill. And you do it. You do it. You never see white people come to your community until election time or until it's something to do with a store or vice versa. That's it. You never see them come to your community. You never see them concerned, brothers and sisters, about any trouble that's happening in your community. You never see it. You just don't see it. And it's a shame. I tell you this because it is. That you don't have enough sense to create your own political party. You don't have enough sense to do it. You won't exercise enough sense. See, you have it, but you won't exercise enough common sense to organize your own political party. Now, we already have the Black Coffee Party. We already have it. Why wouldn't you organize in your community branches of a party that represent black people and look something like you? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. We've got the Black Coffee Party. See, all you got to do is become a part of the Black Coffee Party. That's all. We got it. We got it. We got the Black Coffee Party. This party is the one political party that will examine all of your desires, all your wants in the black community and will effectively recognize it. Now, if we recognize it, and there have been people to try to stop it. There have been people to try to stop it. They named a group. This is the federal government. Named a group called the Black Coffee Party. Right? So we had to call it the Black Coffee Political Party. Is that right? Because the white man has a desire and he's going to fulfill it. He's going to fulfill it. His desire, right, is to make sure. His desire is to make sure that he keep you uninterested in your party, but that he can keep you interested in his party, the Democrat or the Republican. Because there's power. That's political power. A show of numbers, but also how to manipulate. See, that's the one thing we miss. We miss how to manipulate. How to manipulate. We need to manipulate parties where we can all come together. We have to be able to come together as a black people to express our own grievance as black people. Can't be concerned about the white man. Can't be concerned about him. We can't be concerned about his political party. His party doesn't magnify nor seek to satisfy anything in the black community. The Democrats and the Republicans work on things that are in the interest of the Democrats and Republicans, and both of them is on the same level. Both of them from the same family, they're all white. I just want you to pay attention to it. And both of them are from the same dog family, they're all canines. Except one is a political fox and the other one is a political wolf. Right? The one is more sly than the other one. Right? The one got more blood on his jaws. But at the end of the day, the sly fox and the bloody jaw wolf is still a part of the same canine family. And that's this American white man. So you have to understand, brothers and sisters. And see, that's why I'm typing this stuff in so I can get it to you. We're doing the work. We're doing the work. We just need you to get busy and get the information and help us. Help us. This is black nationalism. Black nationalism, not white nationalism, but black nationalism. And we've got to get wise. We've got to get wise in what we're doing. We have to get wise. Black nationalism, brothers and sisters, is the way that you and I will be able to make it as black nationalists. We'll never make it as Democrats because the Democrats don't recognize you. They don't recognize you. It's no way that they can recognize you, and they're never going to recognize you. You have to understand it. You got to understand it. I mean, you see, the man is killing you, killing our children, killing our elderly, right? Killing our youth. The white man is doing it, and then the Democrats stand beside him just as well as the Republicans do. They stand right beside him. So, you know, instead of you recognizing, because you'll have to do it, you'll have to be the one person to recognize it. You have to. Because if you don't recognize it, you're finished. If you don't recognize it. But it should be plain to see. It should be plain to see that, for one thing, the white man's not on your side. Plain to see that he's the reason you're catching all the hell that you're catching. It should be plain to see. He's not going to make any real contribution to your independence. The white man's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. Before he make any contribution to your independence, he'll make sure that you don't exist. He'll do that. He'll never make any contribution to blackness. I see and watch. I do it all the time. I see and I watch how black people are manipulated into supporting politicians. You look, if you join these communities of white people, they're boastful. They're literally boastful in their rebellion toward what's natural and their rebellion of supporting black people. They will make a gay marriage legal before they will legalize polygamy. This is what they do. This is what they'll do. And brothers and sisters, you and I have got to get wise. It's time for us to get wise. Time for you and I to get wise. They will legalize same-sex marriage, legalize LGBTQ community, legalize everything that is even ungodly and unnatural to happen, right? Before they will bless you and I with reparations, right? They'll do it. And the black people have just clearly lost their mind. Clearly lost their mind. Because you never see white people do the things that black people do to get accepted. You won't do it. because they got enough sense, right, to mislead you and stand in righteousness, so that they're not victims of their own hypocrisy. You got to understand that, and I wish I could get you to see it. See, because the only thing for us is black nationalism. I run for a political office, and I was picked for it by black people, and I understood it. It was just to make a point. But when we run for political office as black people, we should run on a black nationalist ticket. It should be an independent ticket of black people who are pushing their own people. And stop running as Democrats and stop running as Republicans when you're not a Democrat, you're not a Republican, you're not even an American, and you ain't got sense enough to know it. I'm telling you, if you don't know today, you're not even American. You don't even have the rights. I just want you to know. That's all. I just want you to know, because I know that if you know, that's half the battle, if you know it. But if you don't know it, then I already know that you're on the road to be finished. My desire, my prayer, brothers and sisters, is that we will learn how to support one another in a true sense. That when we come out of this Babylon that we're in, because we're coming out of it, slowly but surely, we're coming out of it. When we come out of this Babylon that we're in, then we'll truly, truly know, right, what we need to do, where we need to go, and how we need to get there. Because we will have an understanding of who we are, what we are before we came here, where we came from, right, where we were before they brought us, who we were before they came into our lives and invaded us. And when we understand that, then we'll be able to clearly understand what we need to do to get free. God is already turning the powers back over to us. God is. He's turning the powers back over to us. We just have to actualize that power. So I'm not going to hold you very long, brothers and sisters. There's one that want to be seen. Larry Moore. He says, why you keep projecting and two name calling and make it happen, something like that. I don't know. So, brothers and sisters, the brothers are obviously not talking about anything. Not talking about anything. Just a distraction. Anytime you're standing up trying to do God's will, brothers and sisters, you got black ignorant people. You listen to them when you start out, they'll sound like they're intelligent. But you just let them keep talking, they'll get more and more ignorant because they're not concerned about saving black people. They're not even concerned about their own selves. But they'll come on your show, don't have any focus, and want to derail you. That's all they want to do. Black people that are unlearned, that are serving the white administration, that's what I want you to understand. Ignorance, and serve the white administration. It's shameful, it's horrible, it's intolerable. But the brother says, his name is Larry Moore, Brother Larry Moore. He wants to be noticed, so we'll put him on notice. Excuse me. He says, why you keep projecting and two, name calling. Have a name called anybody. Have a name called anyone. Calling and make it happen yourself. Well, I'm trying to make it happen, brother. That's why I'm on this show. And I appreciate your comments. You know, all comments are welcome. Foolish, ignorant, wise, all of them are welcome. I'm not going to remove any comment, none whatsoever, because I want the people to know what they're dealing with. That our people are functioning and focusing in ignorance. We will good job and attaboy and pat on the back for people doing twerking and rump shakers and all of that. I mean, black folks just acting a fool. We'll applaud it. We'll pay attention to it. Here we are in the dumps. Here we are in the dumps of our lives, being destroyed every day. And you can't get one person, not one, or so it seems, to concentrate in every state on what is actually happening in the black community and how we can reverse it. But brothers and sisters, nonetheless, we have to come together. We should have our own political party. That's what we were talking about before we got the distraction. That we should have our own political party. Our political party. Something that we should be doing. For all I know, Larry Moore could be Taharka Bey. Taharka Bey has a lot of names. A whole lot of names. At least that's what his subscribers told me. And they wasn't wrong about the other stuff. About the pedophilia. So it may be right about this. But instead of doing something positive somewhere else, you don't have anything to do but heckle an honest show, good show. People are where you're concerned about bringing black people together. Brothers and sisters, those of you that are out there to hear me, organize. Let's organize like never before to make our community what it ought to be, and also create our own political party. We have to think about black nationalism. That's what we have to think about. We've got to think about black nationalism. We think about black nationalism, we're on the right track. But we'll never get there without thinking about black nationalism. So I want to put this information here. Black Coffee Political Party. Let's begin to set these things up. Have a real party with real black endorsers. Real black endorsers be able to do the thing that God has called us to do. God has called us to do these things. It's a calling of God. Not anything else except a calling of God. That's it. God is calling us to do it. And if we'll do it, then we can be blessed. Now, you were black nationalists during and after slavery because you were concerned about black people, concerned about the history of black people, the plot of black people and the plight of black people. You're concerned about that. So you're black nationalists. You see? Black nationalists. Now, you have to understand we have a distraction from this brother. He's obviously not reading the link. This brother said, if you got it all figured out, brother, why don't you start the party up and stop name calling other black people? Who's name calling? Who's name calling? No one's name calling. I'm telling us to get our own party. Get our own party together. No one's name calling, but this is Brother Larry Moore. He wants to be seen and heard. So, brother, just keep putting comments over there in the comment section. And everybody will see you. Everybody will see you. Just keep putting your comments up. It could be Taharka Bey. You never know. He has a lot of names. He has a lot of names. But the link is there for you to see it. Join the Black Nationalist Political Party. It's called the Black Coffee Political Party. And to get in touch so that we can build up in different states. And the idea of it is to get out of the Democratic Party, right? Like Albert Cleage, Reverend Cleage, built the Freedom Now Party for black folks. If you were black, you could join. If you was white, you couldn't join. In the Black Nationalist Political Party, then you need to be black. White people can't join. You need to be black in order to join. So we're trying to get black people in black parties. Black people to open up black banks, black grocery stores, all of this stuff. When we go down to visit Nicodemus, brothers and sisters, we're going to populate the town, organize population of the town, to organize population. And so that's what we want you to be concerned about, organizing population of the town. Brothers and sisters, organizing as black people, whatever the level of industry is, whatever the occupation, us as black people should be organizing. Brothers and sisters, that's all I have for you. It's going to be a short show today because I have to come back and do the regular show, but I wanted to get these things out because we missed the other shows. So I want to make sure that we could get it out. And so I look forward to the day that all of us are together. I look forward to it. On the same sheet of music, doing the same thing, doing God's will, not our will, but God's will, to bring black people up out of the mucky, marry clay. To be out. To be out. And someday, when we get there, brothers and sisters, someday when we get to the place where we're supposed to be, that our God will empower us, the God from the inside, and the inside will be able to teach us more so and train us more so to love and be concerned about black people. After all, black people are being killed, black people are being misused, black people are being abused. In our time frame and our time setting, all because we haven't organized to do the best that we can. We have to organize to be the best brothers and sisters we know how to be, to recognize our own selves and our own bodies while we can, as we can, as black people. So we get the Black Nationalist political party up and running. And we'll get our people out of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party to be able to live a life. To be able to live a life. And live a life of righteousness. Political party that is concerned about black people. And an organization that can build up the black community and beautify it. In people, in work, in industry, and in deed. Brothers and sisters, that's all I have before you. I didn't say it in the beginning. I say it to you now. Assalamu alaikum. That means peace be unto you. In Arabic tongue, peace be unto you. Brothers and sisters, I love you, and peace be unto you. Free.